So I'm talking to Rob Kelsall here, who's come over to talk to the unions, and your union is, because there's 3 or 4 involved, yours is?
So it's the National Association of Head Teachers, although we represent heads and senior teachers across every school now in the Isle of Man.
Okay, 'cause it's all a bit confusing for me as just with all the different unions. I mean, a big turnout there. So these are the senior people in the schools then you're dealing with, the heads,
Yeah, these are the head teachers, the deputies, the senior leaders who have roles and responsibilities outside of the main classroom. So these are the top of the profession.
Right. Now you come into this with over 80% who are prepared to go almost all the way, I think, and this meeting's a follow-up. What do you get out of it today?
So what we've seen tonight, I think, again, by the sheer numbers of senior leaders that have come out to a meeting this evening, is a demonstration ultimately of the frustration that they're feeling in regards to this dispute now that was raised over a year ago in March 2019 when AHT sat down with the Department for Education along with the Manx Industrial Relations Service to set out why our members were unhappy that the government, that the department had failed to honour the independent review body's recommendation for teachers' pay in the 2018-19 award. And in over a year, we've had lots of prevarication, lots of promises of jam tomorrow. And of course, what I think we're seeing tonight is a demonstration, again, that after senior leaders have done the unthinkable here. It's the first time in our union's history that senior leaders have taken action. Now they're into their 4th week of industrial action, and we've got some contradictions going on here in regards to what we hear from the Chief Minister this morning, who's full of optimism that a resolution can be found, yet we turn our back and there are some very direct and sinister threats being made to teachers for taking action. Yeah, so we've seen a letter circulating. Actually, it was a confidential letter sent to the representatives of the unions suggesting that the department had taken advice and they were in their right to deduct salaries, to stop pay of teachers for carrying out a lawfully constituted action short of strike. And we think those moves are quite provocative, and we think they're quite calculated too. Hence the reason we've been calling for the Chief Minister to personally intervene and ensure there's some integrity and some trust put back into the process.
Well, the Minister said, talked to him, not on camera yet, admittedly, but he's talking to you. He doesn't know exactly what this X bit you want. You've got the London waiting, you've got the increases, he thinks, but you haven't come back to him to say exactly what you want. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Well, I think, again, the Chief Minister knows. I've written to him on 3 occasions now, and we couldn't be any simpler with our ask. And our ask has been now for over a year. So if they haven't got it in a year, I do struggle to understand why they're confused. And so this suggestion of X and this suggestion of fringe allowances pretty much are like smoke screens, because actually the crux of our dispute, as raised almost a year ago now, was over the fact that the Department for Education, Sports and Culture here failed to honour and recognise and then award what the independent review body for teachers had said in regards to the 18-19 dispute. So
no closer at the minute. You haven't got anyone sitting down opposite you. There's nothing on the table new that you were looking at in these 4 weeks since you've been taking your selective industrial action.
So 4 weeks of action, lots of letters being exchanged between myself and the Chief Minister, announcements in the Tynwald of an independent review into how we got to this situation, but strangely enough not addressing the crucial issue of pay for teachers.
So you're dealing with the Chief Minister. What about the actual Minister, Mr. Kajin?
Well, of course, we've met with Mr. McCrean. I've met with Mr. Kajin, and I've signed off a heads of agreement back in September when NHT members were taking action. Then a 10-point agreement, and of those 10 points, literally 2 or 3 of those items were ever delivered upon. So we've met with Mr. Kajin, but of course you'll be aware, I'm sure, that when over 600 teachers and senior leaders met just a few weeks ago here on the Isle of Man, an overwhelming vote. In fact, it was a unified vote of no confidence in the Department for Education, Sports, Culture, and the Minister. So, you know, we again, my letter to the Chief Minister is saying, look, there is a critical issue here now. A year of prevarication, a year of misinformation being sent to parents recently within the Isle of Man about the causation of this dispute does not bode very well for finding a resolution.
You want to go, don't you?
That's a matter. For the Minister, you know.
Well, what was it like in the meeting there? Didn't you ask them that? Sort of?
It's clear. And tonight again was a further articulation of that.
What, they have no respect, no interest in talking to him? What?
Look, you know, I've never, you know, I've been a national officer now for over 23 years. I've never gone to any jurisdiction where the profession has lost the trust and confidence in its own department and its own minister. Tonight I've heard you know, people who are asking that the Chief Executive should consider his position in this. So it's clear that this dispute seems to be you know, getting deeper, and with good reason. And again, the provocation that we've seen just in the last few days doesn't bode well for that optimism that the Chief Minister seems to think you know, a deal is around the corner.
Okay. Well, more to talk to that with Rob. We'll have part 2 of this interview.